Welcome to another lessons with Ming. Today we talk about simplification with radicals. So we look at these questions, right? 1 to 7. You may want to try this by yourself first by pausing the video, and then and then when you're ready, look at the video again and check your answer. All right. Okay, let's start. So here, question number 1, I have 6 times square root of 2 plus 3 times square root of 2. So this one is relatively easy because we share a same common factor. In this case, it's square root of 2. So I use a big bracket and put a square root of 2 as a common factor at the back. And in front, I have coefficient 6 and 3 added together. So this is just going to be 9 square root of 2. Alright, 9 square root of 2. So remember to, when writing with radicals, you put the coefficient first before the radical. So coefficient on the left hand side before the radical on the right hand side. And we usually don't write square root of 2, 9, for example, because this can be easily mistaken as square root of 29, for example, and that's not what I want. So try not to put the coefficient on the right hand side, that is after the square root of 2. If you have to put the coefficient after the radical, then I would suggest you to do it this way: square root of 2 and then bracket square root of 2 bracket 9, right? This is preferable, but better still, write the coefficient first and then the radical. This is okay, that's okay. Alright, so be careful with writing the coefficient with radical. So next one, question number 2 is similar to question number 1. I still have a common factor. Do you know where the common factor is? Very good, square root of 3. So big bracket, square root of 3, and inside the bracket, if I don't write anything in front of the radical, that means this is the coefficient there is 1. So here is 1 minus 6. So it's negative 5 times square root of 3, for example. Here, question number 3, square root of 18 minus 8, square root of 8. Now, this, we need to do a little bit of work. So start by putting square root. For example, 9 times 2. And then minus square root of 4 times 2. The reason why I choose 9 and 4 is that because the square root of 9 is 3. Square root of 4 is 2. So, next step, distribute the square root. So I get something like this. And then square root of 9 is 3, so 3 times square root of 2 minus 2 times square root of 2. Alright, 3, then here the common factor is square root of 2. And I have 3 minus 2 in the bracket. So that's left. 3 minus 2 is 1. So I'll just write square root of 2. Because the convention is that if you don't write anything in front of the radical, it means the coefficient there is 1. Alright, 4. I would have to expand this term by term, for example. The first term times that give me 2 square root of 3 times square root of 3. I'm using a bracket. And then that 2 times square root of 3 times square root of 5 plus 2 times square root of 3 bracket square root of 5. And then next, negative 5 times square root of 3 minus square root of 5 times square root of 3. And then this minus 5 times 5 minus square root of 5 times square root of 5, here bracket. Alright, so simplifying this will give me square root of 3 times square root of 3, that gives me 3. 2 times 3 plus 2 times square root of 15. 3 times 5 is 15. Minus, here is another 15. here is negative 5 times negative 5, square root of 5 times square root of 5, that gives me 5. Okay, so simplifying further, I'll have 15 minus 5 plus, here is a common factor. These two terms have a common factor, square root of 5, square root of 15, and then 2 minus 1. So the answer to this is 15 minus, 2 times 3 is 6. I made a mistake here. 2 times 3 is 6. It's not 15. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 minus 5 is 1 plus square root of 15. Okay, so that's the answer. Now next one is 1 over square root of 2. Now in the IB, it is okay to give you an answer like this, but many teachers, especially in Japan and also in Hong Kong and also perhaps in Malaysia as well, they don't like the radical to be at the bottom. Conventionally, people like to put the radical in the numerator and not in the denominator. Therefore, these need to be simplified. The simplification process here is basically very simple. What you need to do is to multiply the numerator with square root of 2 and the denominator by also square root of 2. So then this becomes square root of 2 over square root of 2 over 2. And I am done basically. Now next one, question number 6 is similar. So I'll need to multiply the top, the numerator with square root of 3 and the denominator by square root of 3. So I will have 6 times 5 times square root of 5 times 3. That gives me 15. And down here is square root of 3 square. So 6 square root of 15 over 3. 6 divided by 3, that's 2. So 2 times square root of 15. And similarly with question number 7. You may want to give this a try first by pausing this video. Once you're done and ready, and then resume the video and see and check your answer. Very good. Let's start by, let's consider this as one term. Multiply the numerator by square root of 2 minus square root of 3. Basically the trick is to multiply the denominator again, and the numerator and denominator, but changing the sign. If you have plus, you change it to minus. If there is no sign, and you just keep the sign. So square root of 3 times square root of 3, for example. This step is actually valid because here, basically what I'm saying is that this ratio here is multiplied by 1. And this 1 here is written as square root of 3 over square root of 3. And this one as well. The 1 here is written as square root of 2 over square root of 2. A over A is 1. Remember that. So here I have square root of 2 minus square root of 3. And if you expand this, the numerator you just copy because 1 times this is just itself. The denominator is in the form of A plus B times A minus B. So I will have this square root of 2 square minus square root of 3 everything square. Remember, this is A plus B times A minus B, and you get A square minus B square, and that's what I'm doing. I'm having this is an aside. Okay, this is what I'm using. So that's square root of 2 minus square root of 3 over 4 minus 3. Oh, sorry. That it could be 2 minus 3. I made a mistake again. Twice I made a mistake this time. Square root of 2 minus square root of 3 over negative 1. Now, if you have a negative number denominator, it is good to put a bracket. Alright? So, or you can put the bracket, the negative on top, like this, and multiply through, then you will get square root of 3 minus square root of 2.